Academic Encounters, American Studies, Chapter 2, Constitutional Issues Today, Reading 1, Freedom of Expression, How Far Does It Go? Since the First Amendment was written, the term freedom of speech has gained a broader interpretation. It includes more than what people say. It also includes other forms of expression, such as what people write or do. Most people support the free expression of ideas that they agree with. But the First Amendment is important because it protects the freedom to express ideas that many people do not like. However, there are limits on this freedom of expression. There are two types of protected speech that are especially controversial. One of these is hate speech. Throughout American history, immigrants and ethnic, racial, and religious minorities have often been treated badly. Other Americans have sometimes said or written negative and hurtful things about them. This kind of expression is called hate speech. Hate speech is directed against a group of people because of a specific characteristic, such as their race or ethnicity, or even sexual orientation. There are a lot of things. Is hate speech constitutional? Are people in the United States permitted to say offensive and hurtful things about Jews, African Americans, Muslims, or homosexuals? In fact, the First Amendment allows this. There are some restrictions, however. If the speech or writing is threatening, it is not permitted. For example, a person can stand up at a meeting and say, "I hate African Americans. I don't want any African Americans in my neighborhood." This is protected speech. However, if the person telephones or sends an email with the same message to an African American family who lives on his street, this might be a threat. It would not be protected speech. The First Amendment also protects actions that are similar to hate speech. Some groups in the United States have used burning crosses as a symbol of hatred of non-whites and non-Christians. The Supreme Court decided the First Amendment also protects people's rights to use symbols, even burning crosses, to express their ideas. However, the use of symbols, such as burning crosses, to encourage violence is illegal. Protests against the government are also often controversial. In 2011 to 2012, many Americans participated in the Occupy movement. They were protesting against social and economic inequality, and especially against the government's role in it. They lived in public parks for days as part of their protest. They could do this because they were expressing their opinions. Like symbols, protest is considered a form of speech. However, as with other forms of speech, there are limits on political protest. Protesters cannot stop other people from doing what they want to do, such as going to work or to school. They cannot block public streets or buildings. They cannot prevent businesses and offices from operating. They may not cause harm to the health and safety of others. The police ended some of the Occupy protests for these reasons. A more extreme form of political protest is the burning of the American flag. People who want to protest against the government sometimes burn the flag to express their opinion. This action angers and offends many Americans. However, the Supreme Court has ruled that flag burning is a legal form of political protest. Now, on page 30, there is a photograph with duct tape over someone's mouth and "No Hate" tattooed on the cheek. I'm going to read the short 2 paragraphs or passage in the above the photograph, titled "Global Hate Speech." The very strong protection of free speech, even hate speech in the United States, is somewhat unusual. Many other countries have laws that prohibit this kind of speech and behavior. Australia, Canada, France, Germany, Great Britain, India, the Netherlands, Singapore, South Africa, and Sweden all prohibit hate speech. However, hate speech cannot always be kept within national borders, and the internet has made the issue more complicated. First, people all over the world can read material on the internet. It does not matter if the website is in the United States, Japan, or any other country. It is not clear which country's laws these websites must follow. Second, the internet allows people to hear speech that, in the past, they would have never heard. One example comes from South Africa. A young black leader there sang a song about freedom for the black population in that country. Unfortunately, the song also contained words about violence toward the white population. Someone filmed the performance and put the video on YouTube. The video frightened white people in South Africa. The young man said that he did not intend the public to hear it, but he was charged with hate speech and brought to trial anyway.